Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Aksharadhare. I am Devraj. I hope you guys are enjoying learning rate and also learning rate. Today is 24th, 20 January 2024. Before going to start today's newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share with your friends. It may be useful for somebody to utilize the opportunities from Aksharadhare and the team. So let's start reading the newspaper, The Hindu, which is very important for the point of competitive exams and for the self development in communication. So this is in the paper. Non-listing of Adani Power case irks SC. Myanmar plane overshoots runway. Bharat Ratna for Karpuri Thakur. The larger message to India from the Red Sea. New Delhi has a new two-front challenge. Djokovic wards up Fritz challenge. Maldives rules how to research by Chinese vessel in its waters. Iceland nation's foreign minister says Jiang Hang Hong 03 will arrive for rotation of personal replenishment following a Chinese government request. Assam police book Rahul for violence during Yatra. Kedap logging is a case of police atrocity. Top quote. It is the duty of every police officer to know what is the law laid on in a DK Basu judgment. Government to relieve retired officials. Tension over desecration of Ambedkar statue. State government amends rules to make SSLC and second PU annual exams more student friendly. Traffic plan for ORR changes daily based on data. Pride of Punjab, glory of nation. 4 lakh registered households, 80,000 get PNG supply through GAIL. Many issues, especially rerouting pipelines due to civic utilities issuing the same route, have affected progress of the project. Before the end of this fizzle, GAIL Gas Limited plans to achieve a goal of 35,000 new connections. ORRC writes to Deputy CM. Water Adalat tomorrow. Punjab National Bank mobile ATM inaugurated. ISRO NSL explore opportunities to manufacture LVM3. BBMP orders demolition of a school for deviating from a building plan. Niman's lab technician, mortuary assistant booked for stealing and selling biopsy samples. Priyanka Karge state will focus on skill development for AVGC sector. PSI recruitment re-exam goes up peacefully. Officials unearthed liquor smuggling racket. 16 school bus drivers booked for drunk driving. Talent discovered on the home stretch. Most companies do not place any restrictions on the age of the candidate or the duration of the career gap. He has some recruitment notifications in different private companies. Power deficient year pushes implementation of multi-year tariff in Karnataka to next financial year. Under the multi-year tariff system, electricity supply tariff for 3 years would be predetermined through projections based on previous trends. Industries had expressed a disapproval of the MOT. AstraZeneca gets a CDSCO note to import anti-bleeding drug. Volvo rolls out a 10,000 the car made in Bengaluru. Man booked for duping graduate. Kannan asked to repay extra Tasdik. A government to relieve retired officers appointed as advisors consultants. It is estimated that across departments, boards, and corporations, hundreds of retired employees have found re-employment. The government is trying to reduce cost. Beer to become a dear to boost excise revenue. Inclusion of candidates who worked against Chief Minister causes delay in appointments to boards and corporations. Hiring of manpower resources. Karnataka Innovation and Technology Society. How Mysore Sandal Soap's century-old legacy was threatened by counterfeit operation. The KSDL got to know about the manufacturers of fake products and how they were impacting the Mysore Sandal Soap company's business after a recent raid in Hyderabad. Of all the things that escaped grasp, Aishwarya spoke to writer Devika Ragirike about her debut poetry collection and the various aspects of her writing process. Ministers charge against private bus operators. Bangalore groomed me from cook to chef. Chef Suresh Pillai feel Bangalore is the best city to start a business, which is why he opened his first restaurant here and followed it with a second one and five other brands. The story of Santosh Chatkarna. Chaat Corner, the city's traffic stopping a chaat shop, amping up the burger scene. CW ASEAN unbiased platform minister. 2100 units of free electricity in Telangana soon. Minister Komati Reddy Venkat Reddy says domestic power consumers will get the benefit from the next month. From next month, he says Congress government will fulfill all four promises. Accuses KCR government of emptying the coffers. Jagdish Reddy's role in purchase of power from the Chhattisgarh power utility will get exposed soon. Will call new criminal laws by names of old legislation. Let's read this editorial page written by the founder of the Council for Strategic and Defense Research. The arrival of the Indo-Pacific marked India's the larger message to New Delhi from the Red Sea. The arrival of the Indo-Pacific marked India's great breakout from the unfriendly continental theatre. hammered in by China and Pakistan and constrained by the vagaries of geopolitics and most of the remaining land borders. But is the ocean of opportunity quite literally so, steadily becoming yet another theater of conflict, competition, and containment. The Houthi attacks ban Muchem Pluto, an oil and chemical tanker, on its way to the new Mangaluru port from the Aib Jubail port in Saudi Arabia, and MV Sai Baba, a Gabon-owned Indian flagged crude oil tanker with a predominantly Indian crew, posted India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to rush to Tehran to persuade the principal Houthi sponsor to help seize the attacks. India's military response to the Red Sea situation has also been swift. The Indian Navy deployed the guided missile destroyers INS Marmugao, INS Kochi, and INS Kolkata in the broader region. The Houthi attack on commercial ships in the Red Sea and the fragility of water and stability in the Indo-Pacific, a direct result of Mama's attack on Israel on October 7, is also a reminder of the rough weather and had in the Indo-Pacific in general and India's maritime space in particular. For India, the Houthi challenge may soon pass, given New Delhi's ties with Tehran, and yet behind the action-reaction mood, there is a larger question we must ponder. Does India have a maritime grand strategy that goes beyond occasional fighting, naval exercises with the friendly nations, and a snail pace increase of the budget allocation for the Indian Navy? What indeed is India's long term vision for the Indo Pacific? New Delhi, for sure, has made a big and welcome shift in its grand strategy from its continental obsession to maritime theatre. This is India's opening to the world at a time when its land borders are becoming increasingly testy, allowing it little access for the country to trade with and transit to the rest of the world. But New Delhi's maritime turn also presents a major challenge, elements of which are becoming increasingly apparent. A different new two front situation. India's new two front challenge is not Pakistan and China posing a nutcracker situation for India, but a combination of its continental and maritime challenges. Having an, having an aggressive and rising China attempting to contain India on its continental and maritime fronts is a classic two front situation. While India has been allowing itself to be obsessed with the line of control with Pakistan in the west, defending the line of actual control with China in the north, and picking needless quarrels with its neighbors. Beijing was quietly building its empire of influence in the eastern, southern, and western oceanic flanks. For decades, Beijing, by arming Pakistan, ensured that India is boxed in South Asia, ignoring the China challenge. By the time New Delhi put its unresolved conflicts with Pakistan in cold storage and shifted gears to the China challenge on the LAC, the game had already gotten bigger. While the People's Liberation Army keeps up the pressure on the LAC, the People's Liberation Army Navy plan has been increasing its presence in the Indian Ocean region at an alarming rate. Consider the following. To begin with, take note of the stupendous growth of the Chinese Navy, which is perhaps the largest in the world today. According to one account, it has an overall battle force of over 370 ships and submarines, including more than 140 major surface combatants. This number is expected to jump to 435 ships by 2030. By way of comparison, the Indian Navy today has 132 warships. Numbers do not lie, not do China's intentions. Take a look at China's push for overseas military bases. Beijing today has a military base in Djibouti, growing Chinese activities in Pakistan's Gwadar and Sri Lanka's Hambantota should worry Indian strategists even if they are not at military bases. In Myanmar, the Kyakopsi Pew port which China is constructing will enable plant to inch closer to the Indian Navy in the Bay of Bengal, a maritime space India yet to uncharted and rivaled. Beijing is reportedly expanding an artificial island in Maldives, and the China Maldives strategic partnership is bound to increase due to tensions between Malay and New Delhi. One had the visit of the anti-India Maldivian president to China recently. China is also exploring strategic investment options in the Seychelles and is also building a naval base in Ream, Cambodia. The small Indian Ocean island nation of Comoros is the latest to join China's fan club in the Indo-Pacific. The emerging picture is these from the Horn of Africa to Myanmar, Sri Lanka, the Seychelles, the Maldives in the ocean, Indian Ocean to Gwadwar in the Arabian Sea. China's actions will amount to a containment of India in the Indo-Pacific. Read these developments alongside China's expanding outreach to the global south. Its port building efforts around the world and strengthening of relations with West Asia and Africa. Two things stand out. First, India's assessment about China's strategy to contain India in the continental space in South Asia is not a misplaced one, but is definitely an insufficient one. China is parallel attempting to contain India in the larger maritime theater as well. Second, Beijing's attempt is to influence, among others, those spaces and countries that India has historically engaged with. While the IOR was India's traditional sphere of influence until the Chinese came in with goodies. The far up regions such as Africa had historical, cultural, and political links with India. In that sense, it appears to be a zero sum game. China's gain is India's loss. Utilizing global attention, so what should India do? To begin with, India should use the growing global attention on the Indo Pacific, which is easily the most consequential geopolitical construct of our times. The good news is that the Indian Ocean is too important for the rest of the world to let China overtake over. If Chinese poses a if China poses a challenge to India's regional security and interest in the broader IOR, it also poses a challenge to the commercial and security interest of the United States and its allies. Every major country is today interested in the Indo-Pacific and its future trajectory, as is India, which provides an opportunity for New Delhi to make coalitions with like-minded countries, especially at a time Beijing has a little great power backing in the maritime theater. Second, India cannot balance against the growing Chinese power in the Indian Ocean Hall by itself. India occupies a pivotal location in the Indo-Pacific moment, just as it is the heart of the Chinese attempts to create an empire of influence. Creating and enhancing partnerships with like-minded countries is perhaps an important way forward. Even more importantly, perhaps New Delhi must invest in a cohesive and well thought out Indo Pacific strategy that goes behind noble intentions and nobler declarations. While Quad and Malabar are useful initiatives, they are at best and a modest response to a grand futuristic challenge that is unfolding quickly. For sure, New Delhi already has several pieces of what could constitute the elements of a maritime grand strategy, but they need to be put together in a purposeful and cohesive manner. The Red Sea situation will fade away eventually, but India's new two-front situation will become more and more apparent in the years to come. In that sense, New Delhi's decision not to join the US-led Operation Prosperity Guardian may have been the right choice for now, but in the longer run, its ability to meet the China challenge without being part of collective efforts would be limited. The truth about India's booming toy exports. So let's read this article. India's toy industry is minuscule, yet it figures prominently in the policy discourse, be it the bygone era of the permit license Raj and the ongoing Make in India regime between 2014-15 and 2020 to 23. Toy exports increased by 239% and imports declined by 52%, turning India into a net exporter as reported in a recent official press release. An unpublished case study by the Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, IML, sponsored by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade (DPIIT), reportedly credits the export success to various promotional efforts under the aegis of Make in India, initiated since October 2014. We examined the official statistics to analyze the possible reasons for the reported success, as the case study is unavailable in the public domain. The table, column 2 and 3, shows net exports, exports minus imports have ties under HC code, HS code 9503, and total ties, HS codes are 9503 plus 9504 plus 9505 respectively. The trade balance was negative 1,500 crore in 2014 to 15, which it turned positive from 2022 to 21 after a gap of 23 years. The turnaround in the labor intensive industry at a time when such industries are not doing too well is indeed credible. How has it happened? In principle, there could be two reasons. The first being protectionism. A rise in import duties could reduce the demand for toys. The imposition of non-tariff barriers can shrink supply, raise prices, and thus reduce demand. Alternatively, investment upswing could expand capacity and augment labor productivity to boost competitiveness and exports. What does the evidence show? In February 2020, customs duty on toys HS code 9503 was tripled from 20% to 60% since January 2021. Non-tariff barriers, namely quality control harder and mandatory sample testing of each import consignment, were imposed, restricting imports. Hence, in 2020 to 21, imports fell and the net exports turned positive. Moreover, as this was the COVID 19 pandemic times with disrupted supply chains globally, imports were adversely affected. As the global supply chain was restored in 2020 to 23, net exports were reduced to 1,319 crore from 1,614 crore in the previous year. For all ties, as exports moderated and imports spiked. The dip in net exports is steeper for tires under HS code 9503 despite the high import duty, while its dip is more moderate for all tires. Hence, not surprising, the government further raised the basic customs duty to 70% in March 2023 from 60% is to stem the renewed rise in inputs. What data show? Could the turnaround in the toy trade during the last 3 years be on account of improving domestic productive capabilities? To answer the question, we have analyzed the data from the annual survey of industries for 2014 to 15 to 2019 to 20. In 2015 to 16, the latest available figures combined for the organized and unorganized sectors. The factory or organized sector accounted for 1% of the total number of the factories and enterprises, employed 20% of their workers, used 60%, 63% of fixed capital, and produced 77% of the value of output. India's toy industry, production and trade since 2000 by Abhishek Anand, R. Nagaraj, Naveen Thomas, Economic and Political Weekly, May 6, 2023. During 6 years since 2014 to 15, the ASI data in real terms show there is hardly a steady rise in fixed capital for worker and gross value of output. More seriously, labor productivity has steadily declined from 7.5 lakh per worker in 2014-15 to 5 lakh in 2019 to 20. More recent data are unavailable. Moreover, export growth during pre and post for 2014 to 15 are not different. Therefore, it is harder to believe that India turning into a net toy exporter could be an account of improved domestic supply and its competitiveness. Hence, it can be safely inferred that India's turnaround in the toy trade since 2020 to 21 is the outcome of rising protectionism. Protectionism is for a limited period, as per the infant industry argument, may enable the domestic industry to make adequate investments, allow for learning by doing, and enhance productivity to compete globally. Such a protectionism needs to be complemented with investment policies and provision of localized industry cluster specific public infrastructure to stimulate a virtuous circle of expanding domestic capabilities to face international competition. In the absence of these preconditions, there is a real apprehension of the demand for protectionism getting entrenched in the industry, culminating in what Anne Kruger famously contended. Infrastructure to stimulate a virtuous circle of expanding domestic capabilities have had to face international competition. In the absence of these preconditions, there is a real apprehension of the demand for protectionism getting entrenched in the industry, culminating in what Anik Argogi previously contended. Rent seeking India has enough experience with such policy failures. In short, the toy industry has turned net exporter since 2020-21 in Make in India policies made it possible. Claims and officially sponsored research. Published industry and the trade data do not bear out such a proposition. Rising tariff and non-tariff barriers have made it possible. Perhaps the IIML studies uses different evidence to buttress its contention. Considering the divergent findings, the report should made public in the interest of meaningful policy review and dialogue. Narrowing field Trump's ad hoc policy making as many takers among Republicans. Limits and borders. A center must consult a state before decisions that impinge on their powers. The need to overhaul a semiconductor scheme. The route to safety. Telangana's leniency towards traffic violators is endangering lives. Under junta rule, Myanmar plumbs new depths. Myanmar shares the joint lost rank with Syria and North Korea and the Civil Liberty Index. Myanmar plane overshoots a runway in Mizoram, 8 over 90 soldiers who crossed into the country to escape resistance forces were to be flown out. The injured were taken to a health center in Lingpo near Aichwal to be treated for minor injuries. As he takes serious note of registry not listing Adani poor case. Raul booked for violence during Yatra. French journalist receives notice over malicious reporting why visa violations. Ladakh ties. Territorial Ladakh's territorial center should be till Baltistan orbits. January 22 is now part of a wide Republic Day celebration, says Modi. Delhi CEO's office clarifies on note about election date. French marching contingent on Republic Day parade as members from India and Nepal. Three railway stoppers run over by local train. Bhai Jodo Nyaya Yatra is about five pillars of justice, says Rahul. Congress leader says the five pillars are just justice for youth, women, farmers, laborers, and in terms of participation. And they will provide strength to the country party to hold a series of workers' conventions to prepare for the Lok Sabha election. On eve of birth centenary, Karpuri Thakur named for Bharat Ratna honor. Shiv Sainiks must throw traitors out of politics. Uddhav. Nitish to share stage with Rahul during Bihar leg of Nyaya Yatra. All is well, says RJD has Nitish meets governor. PM meets the recipients of National Children's Awards in New Delhi. Ram Temple event most unforgettable moment PM. Right wing activist attack FTI students in Pune. Surging crowds break through temple cordon. 11 held in Agra for hosting Safran flags atop mosque. Three cops born to Namibian cheetah at Kuno Park. 22 Weibo Fellows to build long-term research synergy. Oscars film set in India nominated for Best Documentary. At least 50 injured in earthquake on China-Kyrgyzstan border. NATO signs $1.2 billion agreement to acquire 2 lakh artillery shells. Tallinn, China landslides rises to 31 while more remain missing. Venezuela arrests 32 in alleged plot to kill President Maduro. Israel loses 24 soldiers in deadliest day of Gaza war as talks continue. US Britain launched second round of military strikes. Pak Afghan border crossing reopens after talks visa of passport not needed. 5 killed in Russian missile strikes. Oppenheimer thinks lead Oscars race. Public KBS trusted to slack in 2024 to 25 ahead of elections. Pandemic lent boost to life insurance. Hero Motocop banks on EVs. Global expansion for the future. Granules Q3 net climbs 1% and flat sales. Will miss Virat, but it gives an opportunity for another player to step up. Dravid. No good coming here thinking the pictures will do the work, says Wood. Djokovic fights Seat and Fridge. Sabal breezes through to make semifinals in title events. Nominees for Sports Star of the Year Male Award. India limp AFC Asian Cup campaign hands with a narrow loss to Syria. Shad goes down fighting to Dong Su. Shastri and Engineer honored for their lifetime achievement. Anafria rewrites the shot put record. India's home record is formidable. But Ball is England's best chance. As a kid, I was always stubborn about wanting to play cricket. Dhruv Jural. He is one of 3 wicket keepers in the India squad, and for more India gloom and Ratra believes he may have to wait for his India cap. But the call-up proves that he is very much in the scheme of things going forward. Organizers relieved has seen the awards late show, but the scheduling nightmare at the Australian Open continues. And now pieces start making sense of the mystery of pulsar glitches. In 1969, two research groups reported an abrupt and brief increase in the rotation rate of a pulsar. This glitch remains to be explained 44 years on. Today, physicists have spotted more than 3,000 pulsars and around 700 such glitches and are starting to get a sense of why they happen. When neutrons are in a group, each neutron will have to settle for the lowest available energy level. If gravity tries to compress this collection of neutrons inward, their inability to merge into a common energy level with resist with an outward pressure. Avian navigation. Text and context. New SIN numbers. The drop in G shares after Sony calls up proposed merger. The recorded cases of a COVID subvariant JN1 in India. Worth of contract signed by NATO for artillery shells. The number of Israeli soldiers killed in latest class. The death toll due to a landslide in Yunnan, a province of China. Analyzing the rising gap in incomes using data from the 2017 to 18 and 2020 to 23 rounds of the periodic labor force survey, this article examines the changes in income inequality among all income earners in India and disaggregates it according to the nature of employment. Calculating inequality. Gender equity in education. The need to focus on early childhood education. The gender gap widens with the progressive levels of education owing to greater barriers to schooling that girls face due to social norms and deeply ingrained gender stereotypes correlated with biological factors such as adolescence. Homi J. Baba, known as the father of Indian nuclear program, died on this day in 1966. A Kwijan, the renowned nuclear physicist. This is the last page, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the newspaper reading. So, due to some difficulty, I'm not able to read extra. So, please continue reading for 2 hours to make it better in English communication. And if you guys have any doubts or comments, you guys can leave the comment in the comments box so that I can come up with resolutions and solutions for your doubts. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share with your friends. It may useful for somebody to utilize the opportunities from Akshadare and the team. See you in the upcoming videos, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.